a personal need for both Sylvia and I a number of years ago. We're both equine practitioners by background, and we got together. I think it was on the phone to begin with, and we were both discussing careers and how our careers were fitting together with life. And we both discovered that we needed this thing called flexible working. Shock horror. And then we took the conversation wider and chatted to friends and colleagues and went to the Vetstego Diversify conference, their first conference in London in person. And we found that this was a really general need. There wasn't any specific group that needed it more than others. Everyone wanted it, but were finding it difficult to achieve. And so since then, we have tried to raise awareness of flexible working and understanding of flexible working as a foundation. And now, of course, we've got the BVA talking about it. We've got a partnership with XL Vets, which is exciting, and helping vets and vet teams to integrate flexible working in practices that's sustainable. We can do it in the right way. It's fair. And it can really help us to move forward. So that's really what Flexee aims to do in providing tools, digital tools, whether it's managing complex rotors or just understanding where baseline zero is in order to progress, and all the way through to consultancy. This is a strong area for HR in terms of how they can facilitate flexible working, informal flexible working or formal flexible working. It's actually a statutory right after 26 weeks of employment for employees to be able to request it, and rather than just say no or panic at that point, we need to help practices to understand how to go about addressing it and integrating it, implementing it. And most of the practices we've talked to so far are, it's saying it's a work in progress. It's a constant challenge.
Must admit, it's something we've done over the last few years of the practice, stemming from the time that we had one of our vets went off on maternity leave and came back and said that she didn't feel she could work full time. And both the practice manager and myself thought, well, actually, she's too valuable to lose. We need her. How can we fit her in? We thought, well, actually, all we need to do is get another vet to take over the bits that she doesn't do. And we now have, well, out of the 9 vets, only 3 are full time.
Right.
So. And then there's every reason to suspect those 3 will go flexi time at some stage in the future when it suits them to. But actually, I think it works very well. We managed to fit the rota around to I think, please everyone. And what they get
You're clearly doing an amazing job.
I said, I think. But it is a work in progress. And I'd be lying if I said that there weren't times we were overstaffed and there weren't times we were understaffed. But what we have recognised is that actually it's the only way it's going to work for the practice in the future. We can't get full-time vets anymore with the numbers we want, the calibre we want. So we get...
Well, as you say, we don't want to lose that talent. We also don't want to shut the door and make it very binary for veterinary professionals having to choose between having a better balance and staying in the profession. It really doesn't need to be like that. And yes, it's complicated, but it's not too challenging to figure that out. And we always say that flexibility means something different to everyone. You've got this jigsaw of life, and that jigsaw's constantly changing too. So what suits one person won't necessarily suit another. If we blanket rule a 4-day week for everyone, that's probably not going to work for some people.
Yeah.
Might work beautifully for others, but we can't just change the whole structure and make it fixed. That's not in the nature of flexible working. Right. So it's very important.
So does Flexee work as a consultancy? You've got a toolkit, a roadmap, consultancy with apps, with technology, new startup business. How do you work?
It is a new company, and we've been going for a few years, and Flexee's developing, leveraging technology to build digital tools to help practices. So, for example, finding out where they start. So we've got a questionnaire survey. It's an assessment tool where practices can work through the senior leadership, whether it's a director or a practice manager. This assessment tool helps them to understand what flexible working means and where they are doing things really well and where there's room for improvement. And it gives you a score. It gives you a badge, which can be displayed on your website. First of all, that's great for retention because it hopefully stimulates a conversation within the clinic about where are we and what are we doing. But also it's great for recruitment because it shows that, yes, we're a flexible practice. This is where we are now, but we're always trying to improve. So hopefully it will set practices apart from each other and, highlight good places to work, that are places that are really looking out for their teams and trying to make this a good way of working. And then in the future, developing more tools and the consultancy piece to support clinics in achieving this flexibility.
So you do this 9 to 5, Monday to Friday?
So no, this has been what we call our side hustle, but now becoming a more mainstream, normal daytime job. Yes.
Okay.
So Sylvia is taking this forwards, which is very, very exciting. And we're always looking for partnerships. But really, we're here for practices and for our colleagues to make sure that we're all here in the future.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Great.